My fiancé's old friend is saying her daughter is mine. Before I, 30 male, met my fiancé, I was in a 3-year relationship with another lady in my early 20s. I got out of a highly toxic relationship and entirely broke touch with her. She was also my fiancé's childhood best friend, but they lost touch when they left high school. She's only mentioned her pal in passing and seen some of their childhood photographs. However, we never realized that her buddy and my ex were the same person, since she got a pretty common name. We just found out lately because my fiancé attempted to locate her in order for them to reconcile and perhaps have her attend our wedding. They've met and spoken. Then my fiancé revealed herself to me, and I told her. My fiancé is now aware that she is my ex, and I am not comfortable having an ex at our wedding. But she's supposedly been attempting to contact me ever since she found out I'm the groom. She tracked down my job and came to meet me this morning. She claims her kid is mine, and I left before she discovered she was pregnant. Her daughter is 6 years old. The chronology corresponds to when I left her. I'm not sure whether it's just my imagination, but I detect a similarity in some of the images she showed me of herself. I genuinely don't want this to be true, but she says I have to accept responsibility for my kid and that she's prepared to do a paternity test if I don't believe her. She never sought to locate me before since she knows what she did to me, but now that we've reconnected, she sees this as her chance to make amends. All of this was revealed to me today, and I'm still in disbelief. I'm at a loss for what to say to my fiancée. She is aware that her buddy is my nightmare ex, and that there is a potential that we may have a kid together. I'm not sure how she'd respond in this case. I, for one, am at a loss on what to do right now. The only thing that comes to mind are pictures of her kid. What am I supposed to do with this knowledge now? How do I inform my fiancée without losing her? That is something I am frightened of occurring. Update 1. Years ago, I, 30 male, had a toxic ex-girlfriend with whom I broke up and cut off all communication because I was desperate to get away from her. She turned out to be my fiancé's old buddy. They hadn't seen one another in years and had lost touch long before I began dating my ex. She never informed me she was pregnant until after more than 6 years, when she reappeared in our life like some cruel twisted twist of destiny. She swore her kid belonged to me. And I decided to sit down with my fiancée and tell her precisely what my ex/her old BFF had told me. I understand why she needed a few hours away to clear her mind. She was so exhausted that she was going to declare that this was too much for her and that she couldn't do it. My fiancée, the incredible lady that she is, said that we are in this together. We contacted a lawyer, and my ex agreed to assist with a paternity test in court. And we received the findings yesterday. I'm the son's father. This is my kid, and I have just missed 6 years of her life. And, of all people, I tried so hard to avoid my toxic ex. She came at us with the "I told you so" line, and I had best be ready to step up and be a part of their lives. She didn't even say my daughter's lives, she said their lives. My ex looked pleased with this, which made me uneasy for some reason. We had already discussed what would happen if it was discovered that I was the father. We spoke about whether I'd be a parent or simply a father from afar, paying the child support I do until she's a legal adult. My fiancé didn't feel good about the second one, and I, to be honest, don't either. I can't imagine not being a part of her life, and I'd want to get to know her. But it's the prospect of having to deal with my ex for the rest of my life that bothers me. Part of me wonders whether I'll be able to manage it psychologically. Knowing how she was at the time, what prompted me to end our relationship and make it impossible for her to reach me? Everything is striking me at the same time. I'm not sure what to do to comprehend anything, much alone know how to be a good parent to this tiny baby. I don't want to harm her since she's innocent in all of this. Update 2. Things are still a little chaotic, but I'm relieved that I have a lawyer to ensure that everything is handled properly by the court, and we've already begun the process in that regard. I was relieved and less concerned about the situation after reading everyone's comments on my previous article, especially when it came to the fact that my ex and I don't need to have direct contact unless it has anything to do with my child. After years of trying to escape her and her poison, the fact that we'd had a kid together meant that she'd make my life much more difficult than it already was. She may still do so, but at the very least I now have an attorney on my side to assist me in defending my case. The first issue that occurred when I discovered what had happened was that she refused to allow me see my child unless I gave her $900, which she said was for my daughter's schooling, but I already knew this was. And I was planning on letting it go and waiting for the court to grant me visitation. Yes, I'll pay the child support I owe, but I'm not going to hand over cash to my ex-husband. The absolute least that could have happened was that her mother interfered and encouraged her to let me see my kid. Her mother was the one who dropped her off to our place, and she was the only one there. I was a little concerned, but everything turned out well. Of course, she was apprehensive at first, but after an hour or so, she began to open up, and it's incredible to think about where this magnificent kid came from. My inner kid comes out while I'm playing with her at the park, and we have a terrific time. My favorite part has been taking her to places she's never been before and watching the joy on her face when she discovers something new. It makes my heart sing out loud and clear. However, my fiancé did not participate in the original meeting, which was intended to be between me and my daughter, but they did eventually meet last week. It's still odd for me to be a mother of a little kid. And, having missed out on this opportunity to spend time together, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her now. I'm grateful to be a part of her life, on the other hand. And I'm doing my best to ignore my ex and all of her foolishness so that it doesn't interfere with my relationship with my daughter. Because she is so little, I don't want her to be witness to any of our disagreements between us. However, my fiancé, on the other hand, is a complete and utter superstar. My strongest ally during this journey. I cannot believe how lucky I am, and I am doing all in my power to show her how much I value her support and friendship. Story 2. My boyfriend, 30 male, cheated on me, 27 female, with a prostitute, and I'm very confused how to feel about it. When my spouse jokingly inquired about prostitutes and whether I considered it to be cheating or not, I instinctively said that I had believed it to be cheating during the whole marriage. Fast forward to the present day, when we are in an LDR relationship due to the pandemic, and hence are unable to visit one another. Although we've only been experiencing little misunderstandings/miscommunications for approximately a month, they have had a very negative effect on our relationship. My feelings for him began to feel strange, and I began to have my doubts about everything with him after he became frequently annoyed with me for no apparent reason, even simply asking what, because I couldn't hear him clearly at all, so I questioned him about what was happening and whether he had begun to lose his feelings for me while growing his feelings for someone else. He flatly denied it, and I had a flashback to the prostitutes as a result. Even though he first denied having any relations with prostitutes, I persevered in probing him until he ultimately acknowledged to having 3 FKs with prostitutes, 2 in that month we had misunderstandings and 1 before that. I was left with a strong sense of betrayal, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. When I see a movie, a relationship, a girl, or anything else, it immediately leaps into my head and becomes all I can think about, and I haven't been eating properly as a result. I'm going nuts. I tried to talk to him about it and get to the bottom of what he was saying, but he hasn't apologized for what he did and instead blames me. I'm not sure whether he really feels guilt for what he did. He tells me he loves me, yet he and other women whenever a little problem comes up, even if she is a prostitute. I'm not sure I can believe in love anymore. I'm honestly unsure of what to make of it. Maybe I'm being too dramatic in my reaction. I honestly like him for everything he is, good and bad, but this time it has wounded me so profoundly, especially if it happens again, which I have a strong suspicion will happen soon. We are dealing with a wound that will never fully heal. Several individuals have been briefed about it, and each has had a different response. Some people urge me to just forgive, forget, and appreciate the candor, while others encourage me to run away from the situation. Obviously, it's not customary to seek advice from complete strangers on the internet, but as I write this, tears are streaming down my face because I'm so conflicted that I honestly don't know what to think.